In March, I flew KLM for the first time. I flew on one of their 777-300s from Amsterdam all the way to São Paulo. I didn't really have any expectations of the flight because it was more of a coincidence that I booked it. I booked it really last minute or last day, and I didn't even watch any other flight reports, which I usually always do. Seat 12K was where I was seated. That seat is in the so-called Economy Comfort section. It's basically economy class, but with more legroom, a better seat recline, and an amazing engine view. After a 3-hour drive, I finally made it to Amsterdam Airport. After dropping my bag in one of those weird machines you see over there, I headed to the security check upstairs, which was probably the simplest I've ever had at any airport so far. I didn't have to take off my shoes or belt, and I could let my iPad and camera in the bag. My gate for the day was F5, so I followed the yellow signs with a black F on it. I think that's how it works. And that is my ride for today. Papa Hotel Bravo Victor uniform, a 2.5-year-old Boeing 777-300. First time for me on a 777-300. Lots of first times for me today, I know. KLM does not board in groups. It's rather like first rich people and then everyone else. No, just kidding. The first group is the so-called Sky Priority. They are Sky Team status holders and business class passengers. Since I was in economy today, I was in boarding group everyone else. Now, what you can see in the video is that yes, I did do the obligatory fuselage touch from the outside. Unfortunately, the point of contact was not my palm, but rather my head. I guess I am too tall for airplanes. As mentioned before, my seat for the day was 12K, which is in the third row behind the business class, where this dude was doing whatever he had to do. And this is the seat. Looks pretty nice to me. There were a small bowl of water, a pillow and a blanket waiting for me. The legroom was incredible. Even I could stretch out, and I am 6'7" or 201 centimeters for the intelligent people among you. The seat itself was actually pretty comfortable, and there were power outlets and a USB port available. In the seat back pocket in front of me there were a vomit bag, a safety card and a magazine, which actually did have some interesting information about KLM, Flying Blue and Amsterdam Airport. Unfortunately, there was only one pocket in the seat. I always prefer 2 or 3 smaller ones. Okay. So now comes the part where I show you the takeoff footage. For everyone who's not interested in watching the takeoff footage, I've kindly provided a time code for you to skip to. But I mean, come on, it's 777. How could you not want to watch that? Somewhere over France, drinks and food were served. I could choose between a vegetarian option, which was pasta with tomato sauce and peppers, and a not so vegetarian option, meatballs with mashed potatoes. I went for the pasta. The food was actually surprisingly delicious. I mean, it's airplane food in economy class, but I enjoyed it and I would have taken another meal if they offered it. Shortly after the meal, the crew came around with coffee and tea. I did have a little problem with the tray table. It was already tiny. But when the seat in front of me was reclined all the way to the back, I couldn't even put my iPad or a cup of water or coffee on the table without having to fold the table out. Not a big problem if the person in front of you tells you they're gonna lean back. But if they suddenly kick your cup of hot coffee off your table, you wish you would have put it somewhere else. After about 5 hours, I decided that it was time for the obligatory lavatory shot and some other business. This one was one of the smaller ones. There were 2 lavatories next to this one that were a little bigger. Pretty basic in here, however I missed some hand sanitizer. Usually nothing essential, however I took this flight in mid-March, right as the coronavirus became a thing. And even Wizz Air provided alcohol pads. I'm a big fan of maps in the in-flight entertainment system, and KLM's map really impressed me. There were various map modes to choose from, and there were also very interesting information about many of their destinations. After about 6 hours, the crew handed out some ice cream, and by now I started noticing that the guy sitting next to me friendly declined all the food and drinks he was offered except for water. Did he maybe know something I didn't? But the ice cream was good, and until today I do not regret taking it. As we got closer to South America, the crew served a little snack. A cheese bread, a biscuit and some water. But one question, does anyone even like those weird water cups? Why don't they just refill our used cups? If you know why, let me know in the comments. KLM really impressed me. As I said, I didn't have any expectations, I didn't know what was going to be waiting for me on board, but the crew was awesome, the food was great, the seat had its flaws but it was alright, and I loved the in-flight entertainment. At least the maps. I didn't watch any movies on it since I always bring my iPad and watch Netflix or Amazon Prime. Unfortunately, there was no Wi-Fi available on this flight. KLM usually offers free messaging on their flights, and I expected this only 2.5-year-old bird to be equipped with Wi-Fi, but it wasn't. But that's just a small thing. Overall, great experience. I'd be happy to fly KLM again in the future.